Mike Schmaltz here with Rich Hoyt and Xavier head women's basketball coach Brian Neal. Got a big test today from the North Alabama Lions. Xavier scores 95, North Alabama scores 81. Huge scoring day for you on both sides. But you had to test and got into overtime here, so a tough time today with North Alabama. But talk about their competitiveness and how nice it is to win a game like that.
Oh, well, I mean, North Alabama is a good, really good. Bad scheduling on our part, because when they beat Vanderbilt in their first game this year on the road. I was like, uh-oh, and then you watch their scores, and they just blow people out. And that team, they play with a pace and know their offense maybe better than anybody. The Paul and some of those guys, but that team right there could go. And I just kept telling our players, both teams gave shots and took shots, and there was runs and punches and counter punches. And I told our kids at halftime, I told them a couple of timeouts, I said, just keep playing, just keep playing. Both teams are fighting for their lives. Just keep playing, and we did. And we finally, we missed some buckets. We took a couple bad shots going down the stretch when they got back in the game and pulled away from us a little bit. And but once we took the shots we're supposed to, we shot 57% or something like that. So we just needed to stay with what we do. But when the emotions are flying like that, sometimes that's hard to do.
Minute 49 to go. You're down 5. You were able to come up with a couple of stops defensively, and a big three from Aaliyah Dunham. Talk about that possession. You had some patience there, and you found the open shooter, and Aaliyah Dunham just knocked down a huge three for you.
Right. Well, and T, we got people positioned pretty good pace, and T just space, and T just. You can't really stay in front of her one-on-one, and they had to bite on her because we were willing to take the two. We weren't necessarily going for the three on that shot, but if we had it, we were going to take it. And so you had to bite on T because we could have cut it to a bucket there, but she was wide open. Dunham stood in there and knocked that sucker down. It was beautiful.
Coach, you mentioned you struggled defending them for much of the day, but you only allowed them to score 2 points in overtime. Was there anything that you said or any adjustments that you made going into the overtime period that affected that?
Really, our focus level just rose, and we finally made them feel us a little bit. There was much of the game where they weren't feeling our presence, okay? And they're driving and they're feeling pretty free. And then when it got tight, they got down. The game changes when you get down. And then they felt us. We'd make we slid over, made some good plays with our bodies instead of reaching or not being there. But I just think our presence just got better. Our communication got better. And then I think when things got a little chippy there, I think our intensity rose big time. So yeah, it was a great overtime performance.
Talk a little bit about T. Owens. You mentioned that 23 points today, career best, 7 assists for her, also a career best.
Yeah, and I was all over halftime about those 4 turnovers. But the kid is just T's come on so big and really grown up right before our eyes, and so that's the kind of performance she could have on a more of a regular basis. And again, against a team who's very competitive. That team is giving up 52 points a game or something like that. So to come out and do that on offense, but she stepped up. She's got to be our catalyst. We're not very experienced. I'm talking 90 miles an hour. Bear with me here, but it's it's been a hell of a day. So, but anyway, yeah. But T was great.
He scored 94. You're allowed to talk 95. That's fine.
I'll talk about that fast.
How about Ariana Gray comes up with a fourth double-double of the season, 21 and 14.
Unbelievable. And a three-point shot that really I think I made it 7 was a big bucket. And Ari just continues to grow. And you see her struggle and make mistakes, and she gets so emotional. Last year, it would have been over. Now she bounces back and then becomes the best player in the game at times. So I just thought she was phenomenal.
And then Aaliyah Dunham with 16 points, 5 rebounds, so that point combination really starting to show some maturity as well.
Yeah, we need Aaliyah. And we needed her to score the other day, and she didn't. I think she was 0 for the other day. So to see her step up, and it just shows what kind of character she has to go 0 for 7 the other day and then make a shot like that. And then she made those technical fouls, and I told her before she shot them, I said, Leah, you missed the last 2 technicals. I put you up there. Get up there and make those, and she did. And so it's really, when you fail, there's always another test. You're going to get retested on that same thing, and so we're passing a lot of those tests right now.
Lauren Wasselson, your freshman, steps into some nice threes, ends the day with 14.
Yeah, and Lauren, she was a freshman defensively for much of this game, but she's just such a threat. She just doesn't get rattled, and that's why she plays so much, because she doesn't get rattled. She's not a perfect player yet, but Waz is a huge addition to this team.
It's great to see everybody click at the offensive end today, and I really thought you got some great dribble penetration, and they started to take away some things inside in the second half, and that's where the driving kick was more available.
And I told them we practiced, and our motion's been getting better and better as the year goes on. And I told them after practice yesterday, we had a really good day, and everybody was involved. I said, ladies, we don't have to have 1 or 2 that can score in double figures. 7 or 8 of you guys can show up, and we can have a big day. And we had one. Not that I called that, but I'm just saying we were due to play an all-around game, and a lot of our kids stepped up.
Young team, you showed some maturity, and we mentioned it throughout that maybe your decision-making gets a little bit better as the game starts to speed up this year.
Well, yes, our decision-making – we're not the smartest team we've ever had, okay, because of that experience. But we just can't become more experienced. We've got to get these reps. But I think some of the closer games we've been in this year helped us today. Now, that being said, we had to trim up our rotation quite a bit in that second half. There's some other guys I wanted to get in there, but it was just a time when some of those veteran sophomores were going to have to pull through, and they did.
You got a week before your next game. You got to be looking forward to practice time this week.
We need a little rest. They got some schoolwork they need to get caught up on, but there's some things we got to get better at. So we're going to have a little, I guess, boot camp type thing, and we got some time, and that's going to be the plan there. But we still got a lot of room to grow, and that's the exciting part.
Musketeers pick up an exciting victory. Season best 94 points for Xavier today.